Alright everyone, it's Professor 095 back with a simple, I would say like a video per se. This one is technically what I'm doing right here is basically like bingo card per se of like what to expect for the Bushiroad presentation stream, which be coming on for this Sunday, technically speaking. So this is just my personal opinion on like what to expect. Of course, maybe some others will expect something else. Um, and this is just like my own take, and like of course like any other bingo games you have to list down as to see like what is more likely is going to happen. But for me, I feel like I think I'm just like have to put it down here for the list of like what I'm supposed to expect for the stream. And yes, maybe your list is different. Maybe like the way how you arrange your bingos might be different. Because like maybe if you might see it around with your Discord servers, or maybe if you want to do it around like your with like if you share with your friends, if you talk with your friends about it in the Telegram chat or the WhatsApp chat or whatever, you can feel free to like screenshot this bingo as a reference. Of course, you don't really have to follow it 100%. This is just my personal opinion, and in this video, I'm gonna have to justify like why do I want to like play, like why do I want to put this bingo in this way. So I feel like if some of you might not be too happy about my arrangements, you can always feel free to like look for other content creators, for they might have a much more better predictions or much more better better things to suggest besides like some things here. Because like I know that there are some things here within this particular bingo list is like not super great, and some of them like it's like super copium-ish. But that's bearing in mind. This is going to be some. This is just my own personal take on some things. So yeah. So before we get straight into this, my explanations and whatnot. First off, if you do like my content right here, right now, I would like to say thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I implore you to take like and subscribe. Click the notification bell, stay tuned for more awesome content in the near future, and let's get straight into it. Alright, now, first things first, bingo. Like any other bingo, we start with the free space right in the center middle. I think that's self-explanatory, so I really don't have to get into that, right? So after that, I'm gonna have to work from every row and what I think it could be happening. Of course, I don't feel like I'm gonna like getting all the bingos at the right one. So let me start at the third row first, or maybe to make things easier, I think I will give you like from the very first row up to the very last row, and voice out to you my justifications as to why I feel like I want to put my bingo in this way, right? So first things first, for ban list for premium. Now premium as of right now in the I'm talking in the context of like Japanese competitive scene. Premium hasn't been like a huge thing as of late. I know there are some players in Japan, like a huge amount of players to be in Japan who are still playing premium, but it's not like super prominent as it might be. And I know that the ban list for like the English format and the Japanese format is completely different. And the last premium ban list that we got was from June. And maybe for this time round, they could do some little bit of like restrictions or probably unrestrict some cards. Now, disclaimer: when I say ban list for premium, it doesn't mean that there are new cards that can get banned. It also means that there are some old cards which also subjected to unrestriction or maybe restriction to one piece. Or like you can only play this card once per deck. This is something along those lines. This is in like include in the ban list for like premium. When I say like ban list for like particular format, it means that there is like a change within the format, no matter how major or minor. Premium right now, I would say that it is still relatively healthy-ish. Right now, the only premium in the Western format that I'm more familiar with is like Gradora, Chaos, Link Joker, Mega Colony, or something along those lines like Narukami. But I don't think like because like Narukami got restricted a lot because like they kind of like banned like full Bronto, and they restricted Stunless into one piece, so that's technically still a very relatively a healthy premium list, but then again, it's been dominating by a lot of like control decks. So I might be wrong, and I'm not like a super huge fan of premium because premium sometimes like squeeze the brains out of me, and I don't know how to do that. By the way, please don't mind the noise outside. And it's having a thunderstorm, so I'm hoping within this particular time you'll be able to hear me. So please don't mind the sound outside, right? But you just focus on my just focus on my voice for a bit, right? Anyways, that's my justification for premium. There might be changes, and there might be like uncuts that might be get restricted. In the case of like last time we got like Green Katarina, which was in the previous 2022's premium collection. They kind of like restricted. No, like they kind of like restricted Katarina by the time it's out, and Ichikishima. So hopefully I feel like this time around they might unrestrict some cards. Maybe not Ishikishima, but if we can see what they can do with like unrestricting Green Katarina and unrestricting Hari with Alice, I think that would probably help. And I mean, like something along those lines. I mean, it happened, but we'll see what other things that they might unrestrict. So it has a possible chance that they might restrict some stuff there, right? So that's for the fan list for premium stuff. Now, Lyrical Booster Volume 5. Now, this is really interesting. I don't think it's way too early or near. I don't think it's way too early for them to announce like Lyrical Booster Volume 5 because Lyrical Booster Volume 5 is technically a Lyrical Booster that they do it like once per year thingy. So maybe for this time round they would do like maybe some additional support for already like existing cards. Maybe for like Mendiel, Lilfa, Haserit, Kyoka, or maybe they can also this is just Copium Land. This is just Copium Land, but I'm hoping that in the near future they will be doing something like Bermuda Triangle encounters in lyrical booster sets, like Pacifica, Coral, somewhere along those lines, right? You get what I mean, alright? So I think, but that's really pure Copium Land, so it's not too hard to predict that they might do it, but I'm not sure if they were to announce it so early this time round. So this is just my pure speculation at this point. Maybe they could do like a team for like next year's lyrical booster, but I think the art is just way too early or way too fast because it's only like now it's like next year. Now it's like October, right? Let's say, for example, if we are looking by the previous precedents of like previous lyrical boosters, coming October lyrical set is going to be based on Halloween, and this year's festival booster is like based on like Easter. Though it's not explicitly stated that it's a lyrical booster set, it has a dress up for almost all of the original 5 lyrical right lines like Toro Nerol, Willista, what else? Alistiel, etc. I think they could be doing something along like Chinese New Year theme, Lunar New Year theme, or they can do something like Christmas, but I think Christmas is just like way too early, I guess. And the gap between like this year's lyrical booster and next year's lyrical booster is just like way too fast, I would say. October maybe it's just I feel like way too fast, and then like next year Lunar New Year they can do it around like February. It's like around like 4 months, 4 months gap. But I think with then like 4 months gap, if not it's way too early. And if you were to do like festive season related like lyrical booster sets, set 5 will be based on like Christmas theme. I think it will be around like December, which is like more fitting. I think it's already like way too early for that, but I'm just speculating because I couldn't think up of like what to predict on this Bushiroad expectation stream, right? This presentation stream. Okay, so that's it for now. For the new TD, for the new SS and the new ST, so like the new trial decks, new starter decks, and new start decks, right? This could be potentially happening. I can foresee this happening because for the previous sets such as like strike deck sets such as like Chronojet, Messiah, and after that you have the other start deck sets such as like Ground Grace, New Office. Those are really pretty popular as well as with like you throw in like additional reprints In the case of like Orpheus, you have Elementarian's Amplitude. This is like pretty popular among the players because you can get it for like almost like relatively affordable price. So let's say for example in the context of Malaysia, you can get that Office deck set is around like all the starter deck sets for like Grace Office. Fafnir is already like around like 200 ringgit per per deck, and not to mention it has like sleeves, deck box, a storage box as well as like reprints. I think that's like technically a good starting point for all entry, good entry point and good starting point for to attract new players to play more decks. They can if they like feel like this time around they do it around like Gear Days because of like Grace and Fafnir. I don't know why it's Office there in the first place, but maybe they can like switch around and have like provide a new levels of like starter sets for some other vanguards. Let's say for example, I'm not sure what other viable deck sets that require a lot of. Maybe I don't know. Maskers, I feel like Maskers is like a little bit too redundant because you don't want to reprint like a lot of masks, I would say. But I guess the mask reprint should as much as I want a lot of like mask reprints, I think they might not do it. Maybe they can like push off to something else, like let's say for example Velstra strike decks, Velstra deck set, not strike deck set, sorry, that's different thing. Velstra starter deck set, what else? Luquia, they could also like do something like an encounter deck sets, maybe for Overlord, maybe for PBO, and something along those lines, right? So yeah, that's could be potentially happening, but I feel like Bushiroad should really do more of this, and I feel like within the coming months, as the game gets more popular. Just to remind you that this year's Bushiroad presentation stream will be around like 1 p.m. here in Malaysia time, as well as Singapore time, because Japan will be having their presentation stream around like 2 p.m. So we are technically like 1 hour earlier, and they are doing this at the Tokyo Game Show, which is like a very huge game show for like very large con for like those games and entertainment industries to be there. So I think it's a good stepping stone for them to be like, say, we want to attract new players to play Vanguard, so why not release more things like this, right? Like strike decks, starter sets, not like strike decks, starter sets, and etc. Right? So that will be pretty good for now. After that, we have the V Prem and V Premium support. Now, I can understand, like I can know that there are some players that gives out the argument that V Premium is not a huge thing in Japan anymore because they rarely do tournaments based on V format. But let's say if in the best case scenario that Bushiroad doesn't want to let this format die, V format dying, they could do something akin to like V Clan Collection Volume 7 or Volume 8, alright? Something along those lines, right? Maybe they can try to pump up more reverse cards, like something what they did with Himiko reverse and Giraffa reverse. I don't know, maybe a Gear Chronicle reverse card should, it would be nice, it would be cool, who knows, right? It's like introduce, like bring back some of the old cards that is like very popular with like a lot of people. Maybe we could see like I don't know, maybe you can bring in like Revengers. I mean, like Revengers is technically there, but you can bring in like cards like I don't know, Mordred is already here in V. What other like very important, like very famous cards back boss units, right? But you get what I mean, right? They could like do something else in regards to that. Maybe they can bring back Minerva in V, who knows? Maybe they can bring back more Regalias in V. Or like something they can introduce to like legions, for example, like some of like Legion era bosses. I know what they did with like the witches, like the Fianna, Shadow Paladin witches for Fianna, and then like you have the Rises. Maybe you can do more of those things because there's not all of the V boss eras that is like very prominent. And has not returned in V. Cough, Loris, because Loris hasn't been back in V, so maybe they can do something along those lines. So I think if you're talking about like Prem support, V Prem support is going to be a once per year thingy, like what we did like last year with P Clan collections and the festival collection, but that one is like on a different story. But if let's say you introduce more strikes for this time round to buff the premium scene way better, I think that is also like definitely welcome in a sense that you have like new strikes for like say all of the new strikes for Royal Paladin, new strikes for Kagero, etc. Right? So all of these things are like very I wouldn't say not needed per se, but maybe you can introduce like more effect triggers, more effect guardian, like heal guardians, or maybe you can do like reprints, etc. Right? So these things could be more useful for maybe like to keep this format alive. Maybe for premium, in the sense of premium, maybe yes, but I'm not sure for V premium, so we have to see on that. Now, after that, we have V, a ban list for V. Now, again, what I said right here, they could unrestrict some things, they could restrict new things. Hopefully, Aglova got unrestricted. As much as I really love Go Paladins, maybe they could do something like choice restriction. Maybe you can only play Aglova in like say, if all of your grade 3 normal units in your deck are Liberators, have Liberators in the card name. Maybe they can do something like that, like or like new ban list, or maybe there are some cards in premium that they could unrestrict for a little bit, or maybe like you could restrict some things. But then again, like I said earlier, in my own personal opinion, I feel like the V format scene in Japan is not really as prominent as right now as it used to be. Now D is more popular, and frankly speaking, I prefer like playing D more than V now because the mechanics are okay. We'll have to see if there's like any other ban list that could potentially like revive V, or maybe like for that in the case of like Prem and V Prem support, maybe they can add something, try to like revitalize the entire format, or maybe do some changes. So we will have to see. After that, for the second row, for New Seraph. Now, New Seraph is kind of like a very important point for me because the anime is going to end very soon for this arc, and we haven't gotten a new Seraph. Now, I know that some of you say that Seraph Purelight is already pretty strong on her own. Maybe she doesn't really need a new support per se. But I feel like this trend is like a little bit weird because you see almost every of the start decks era cards, like say Nirvana, Bastion, Magnolia, Bruce, and Seraph, they all almost got all of their grade 4 forms as well as their tertiary forms. Now, tertiary forms is like say for in the case of like Nirvana is Nirvana Jiva. You have Vehemence Bruce, you have Bastion Accord, you have Magnolia Muscus, but we have not gotten a new Seraph. And it's something that irks me a lot, especially like we haven't seen what Homari could grow in that particular Wheel Dress Season 3. She hasn't had a single fight per se. And if let's say in the worst case scenario that they Zakuza's arc in the uniformers has not been properly resolved, maybe they can drag it to the new anime season, which is gonna be like around like sometime around next year. So we have to see for the time being. But who knows, right? So after that, so I was thinking like maybe a new Seraph could help out because it's kind of like keep consistent with the particular trend. For me, there's definitely not going to be a Seraph Muscus. I know that some of you guys are like, oh, what if Seraph Muscus exists? No. Hell no, it's not gonna happen, man. Okay, after that, I know like some of that is like some of you is like super weird. Yeah, okay, before that, I need to look at the hold on. What happened to my okay, anyways, where was I? Okay, wait, these are all my thumbnails. Wait, what happened to my previous? Oh, come on, it's gone. Alright, anyways, right. After that, let's get straight into something else, which is like the Dear Days content. No, not the Dear Days content. Okay, now V format dead. Okay, now V format being dead is something that I wish that it's not gonna happen. Please forgive my blank screen for now, but you'll see it later on after that. Okay, now it's back. Okay, now V format being dead, what they could possibly do is that if V format is dead, I'm not surprised. But I kind of like couldn't shed any more tears to that. As much as I like enjoying playing the Wii format, I wish they could still continue this format because I know that some players who are not very keen into playing the D format because like of the over trigger issue, so they say that I prefer a format where I don't get I lost because of the OT. Like say for example, I got through to pass and then suddenly an OT checks. You check then OT and then it's game, right? So maybe the idea of not having an over trigger might appeal to a lot of players. But the thing is that as much as how V has like a lot of problems, like Axels, for example, it's still relatively, I would say, a relatively fun format to play personally for me. I know that V format is not appealing to many of the players nowadays, but it's something that I've kind of like enjoyed myself. Not because I play Steam Maidens, not because I play like Chrono Jets. It's because that I felt like there is more potential in V that could be explored more. There's like could be like more. I don't know if they want to introduce more mechanics or they make new rulings. I think it will be fine per se, but I'm not. But the high likelihood that they announce, they say, oh maybe we are not gonna continue our V format anymore. So goodbye. It was fun, but it lasted. But you have to go. Maybe they can do something like that. But I felt like it's not gonna be. It's probably not out from the realm of possibilities, but I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that they might. So who knows? I might be wrong. You can always, I can always be proven wrong within the stream itself, the day of the stream itself. So let's not dwell on it any further. After that, no ban list for it. Now, because in relations to back with how V format potentially dying. They might say they have no change in the ban list for V, which means that Agloba will still being restricted to 1. So what else? There is no change. There are no new cards to be restricted. There are no old cards to be unrestricted, right? So they could do something like that and just call it a day, right? It's highly possible. So that's about it. They could. Or they could do something like that, right? In the case of V ban list for premium, I think they can foresee maybe for the next future BT D sets, D booster sets, they might have to revise something. Speaking of premium per se, let me rant for a little bit for a moment. I'm not ranting per se. Something that I find really interesting yesterday was that my friends actually told me that you can technically play premium Neon Nectar in Grifo Gira, premium Neon Nectar Grifo Gira is because if you remember this V card named Maiden of White color, which is the skill that once per turn you can write a grade 3 or a greater Vanguard from your hand, and then you can get the token and then you can use the OT, then you proc the skill. Maybe they could do something to block that from happening, from unrestricted, restricting that from happening, or it might be one of the most insane deck builds or the most insane thing that premium can offer, which is not out from the realm of possibilities as well. So it's highly possible that that could happen. So just that's on my pick for premium per se. No ban list for V, of course. So that's it. Nothing changed. There is nothing changed in the ban list for V. After that, we have the next one. We have Youthquake manga support. Now, Youthquake manga support. Lately, if you read the manga, I look at some snippets of it. I've read some pages of it. They will say that in the manga itself, there's a new interesting levels of right line in there. It's not just one or two with Lulu Zulu and Silhouette. There's plenty others. So we could potentially see that in DBT14. Just to say it out right here, right now. The DBT14 could be will be confirmed to be a Glitter Encounter collab Youthquake set, right? So it's something like BT11 where you have the cards a new Roroba, new Eva, and then you have collab cards like Mushi King, and then you have Youthquake cards such as Silhouette and Lulu Zulu. So something along those lines. So DBT14 will definitely is going to be something like that, right? So Glitter Supporter Encounter set. After that, Dear Days news. I know that Tuesday, last night, we got a DLC for set 9, which we get Sophie, Jinky, and Sam, as well as the set 9 cards with Grifo Gira and the rest of the Dragon Tree Wretch. So Dear Day news, maybe they can say we will be announcing new DLC content for the next coming year or so. Maybe they will introduce new characters, or maybe they will introduce some new cards for set 11 onwards. Maybe who knows, right? It's something along those lines, but Dear Days news is a little bit like copium-ish, but if they would do it, they would do it, you know. Yeah, that's about it, alright? Now, for the third row, we'll be talking about like collab cards, right? So collab cards is, I think, is a little bit very interesting in the fact that I think it's going to be a confirmed case, because if you look at the previous booster sets from BP10 or BP9 onwards, I don't remember, BP10, where they print the Bang Dream crates, and then you have like cards such as like Mushi King, and then you have like Gotobun, and then you have like Mygo and Morphonica. So and then you have also like the collab with the manga artist. It's not hard to say, and it's safe to assume that they will do something like this for collab sets to come in, but we have no idea what set they will collab with. Maybe, I don't know, Spy X Family, maybe like Licorice Recall, but I think that's already in White Schwartz, so maybe not. Or something like Hololive, I mean, that's also out from the realm. This is not like, it's possible, but it's not also possible. But something which really is like very a popular IP, and then you can just like appeal to the new players, like, you know, or let's play Vanguard, and then there's like things like there are cards like Mushi King and Gotobun, and because I feel like, because Gotobun, okay, my oh my god, my bingo card is gone again. Okay, Gotobun, technically speaking, is like kind of like drawn a lot of like new players, because like they can't. Gotobun is a very like popular anime per se, so it's not hard to see that there's like a lot of like you know, new players to come in and try the game per se. And if this bingo card can be so inclined to help me to just, oh lordy, if they are be so inclined, please give me that bingo card. Okay, anyways, back to my rant. Back to my here. Okay, my bingo cards. I'm not sure if you can see my bingo cards. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you do. Okay, anyways, we have the, yeah, so that's about it. Okay, I'm gonna say something about the collab cards, right? After that, you please don't mind my thumbnails. I'm just talking about like what. Okay, so after that we have DBT14. Now DBT14 is kind of like interesting because we are talking about like sneak peek. For like DBT 14, we have like collab. What I said earlier is going to be like Encounter, Glitter support set, Youthquake support set, Youthquake support cards. So it's not too far-fetched to say that they will have something different in regards to like how we are going to get like new, I don't know, new Maple, Grade 3 Maple, Grade 1 Obscudates. So it's going to be happening. But we'll see how, to what extent it's going to be a glitter. And after that, it's going to be like huge, highly possible chances it's going to be like Encounter set. Like, because if you look at the trend, and it's not too hard to predict. If you look at set 2 onwards, they have like Dragoning Overlord and Phantom Blaster Overlord. Phantom Blaster Dragon first, okay, which is in set 2, and then 3 sets later, set 5, we have like we have MLB, we have MLB as well as Dragoning Overlord DN, as well as Phantom Blaster Dragon, Phantom Blaster Overlord, and it's also a glitter, and where we got introduced to like glitter, and yeah, now it's back. Go back to, you know, they introduced like glitter support, which is like the right lines for like Tegria, Eva, Chaos, and then like cards like Obscudate, Maple, etc. And then 3 sets later, set 8, we have like Encounter cards, which is we have Minerva, we have like, was it Maelstrom and no, not Maelstrom per se. Is Maelstrom in set 8 or set 11? No, set 8 if I'm not mistaken. Like we have like Luquier, we have Maelstrom, we have Minerva, and then you have like Hololive collab, so something along those lines, right? So and after that you have set 11, which is like more glitter support, which is like a new Vanguards like Rorova and Eva, and then you have like collab cards like such as Mushi King, and then etc. Right, something along those lines. So it's not hard to predict that. I would safe to assume that DBT 14 will be a glitter Encounter set, right? So that's it. So we will see something, a sneak peek to it. They'll like say, probably we will announce, okay, so tada, this is our new unit, and look forward to it. That's about it. Okay, now free space, we can skip that. Now producer got beaten up again. Okay, it's a I would say that it's a meme among like Bushiroad player communities, whether you're playing Vanguard, White Shrubs, or Rebirth or whatsoever. Where that this MC, this guy, this producer like got beaten up by a wrestler. You know, it's like a meme. So if they're going to pull that skit off again, so I'm not surprised. For this one, this is just because of that particular skit that have been doing it for the past presentation stream. So let's see if the producer is gonna get beaten up again, right? So anyways, that's that aside. That's just for meme shenanigans purposes. After that, we have the triple drive booster minor reviews. Now, we know that from Tuesday stream, this week's Tuesday stream, the triple drive booster is essentially what we call a reprint set. So maybe they can say that, okay, so what to expect? Maybe the casters will say, or the MCs or the hosts will say, okay, now, some of you might be curious what will be there for the triple rare triple drive booster reviews. So we're gonna review like a tiny bit of what to expect and what to come. Maybe they can reveal cards like Inlet Pulse. Maybe they can reveal cards like Brainwash, Eureka, or something along those lines, right? So maybe those minor reviews, we can get to see like what's at there, and maybe they can introduce like say an artwork for the new Regalis piece. Who knows? And maybe some other like effect with maybe they can do like, hopefully they'll do like effect triggers reprints, or like over trigger reprints. Who knows? I mean, like, I'm just speculating, but you can like expect them to do something like that, you know. Okay, so what to expect for like triple drive booster? Here is Tada, we have like this and that, like X and Y. So they could do something along those lines, and I'm not possibly would be hitting a bingo. I probably hope that I'll be hitting a bingo in this entire third column, because I know that they will do that, and I hope this will happen. Other than that, I'm just hoping somewhere else will get hit lah. You know, I can hit a bingo within this particular bingo sheet. If not, it's probably all over the place, right? Okay, now for the fourth row, I think I want to explain a little bit of like why I want to put Story Chaos Strike deck set. Now, Story Chaos Strike deck set is really interesting, because most people and most players have told me potentially we might getting a Tavas Strike deck set. Here's the justifications as to say why. Now, when I said that last time, when I said that when they could come out an Asha strike deck set, I think it's highly improbable, because they will always come together in a set. In terms of like Tri-Tree, for example, they will come out like Chronojet, Ultimal, and Asha, right? But there is no Ultimal Captor strike deck set, which has been tokened by Luwat. Then there is a less likelihood that Asha strike deck set will come up. So that's why they say they want to turn to Tawas. And the huge thing that people have been like, jokingly said that maybe we can come out like a Gradora strike deck set. I say hell no, that is not gonna happen, because Gradora is already dominating enough in premium. Please don't buffer up any more further than it is. So I would say that Tavas is the highly likely chance that it's gonna be like the Story Chaos Strike deck set, right? Because we already have hints for it, for two particular reasons. Because number one, almost all of the nations right now have their own strike deck sets, barring Lyrical Monasterio. If Lyrical Monasterio can come out like a strike deck set like Hero or Loris, I'll take my money and yes, continue with that. That is not a problem. But if you see the previous nations, like they have like strike deck sets such as like Chronojet is Dark States, Messiah is from Rungate, Shiranui and Luwat is like Keter and Dragon Empire respectively. And it's not hard to say that Tavas, they should be like have like a standalone strike deck set, right? Not to mention, if they say that like some people would say like Night Rose could also possibly come out, but that doesn't really make sense, because Night Rose will usually pair with Hari. Luwat will be usually paired with Shiranui, which they did, and they come out because it's like plot purposes in the anime or in the lore. Tri-Tree is always definitely a thing. It's because of the anime and the lore. If you remember if like veteran players here who still remember G era days, they will usually come out as a set, right? So and not to mention that if like in the context of premium, English premium, they made a set for not strike deck set, I would say. It's a strike deck set for premium strike deck set for both Hari and Night Rose. So I'm not sure if they are going to do that, but I highly doubt it's gonna be, because it's only like English exclusive, only because premium is highly popular in English format. in the western side of things. What else? And so Night Rose is out of the question, Redora is out of the question, Asha is out of the question. I think the best situation right now it could be Tavas. Or maybe some people might be copium and say that maybe we can bring back Big Belly Strike Deck set, which is, I would say that's not, because Big Belly is not very popular. Tavas is more popular, Aqua Force is very popular than Great Nature, so I would argue in a sense, right? So so that's why my justification of like Strike Deck set for Stoichia is. And not to mention that if you look at the previous like VT13 Rag Recyclers, the Recycler cards triple rares, where if you discard a card for like for riding a grade 3 or for strike, you get to draw one card. Remember those? Those grade 4s, you reveal a grade 4, or if your Vanguard is grade 4, then you proc abilities. Yes, those kinds. Almost, you know, Brandgate has one, Dark States has one. Dark States is tonight, by the way. So Stoichia is out, but and when they say when you have to discard for the purposes of strike ability, you know that they would do a strike Stoichia strike deck set, and it's coming sooner than we expected, right? So hopefully this Sunday they might reveal the Stoichia strike deck set lah. Alright, so and there's that. Okay, now no ban list in D. For now I will say that I think the most annoying part for me, it's not a bad thing. I think it's just only like in my own personal opinion, that there's probably not going to be like a lot of like changes in like the ban list in D, because it's been heavily dominated by Gandiva, Vilista, I don't know, Zoga, Minerva, and many others, right? Ebisu, even if Ebisu got hit like last time in the previous presentation stream, it still doesn't really change a lot of things. So maybe I would say that and they're not gonna hit Vilista either, they're not gonna hit Gandiva either, or maybe they do like choice restriction with Best Harvest and Gandiva, is because they already reprinted Best Harvest. So I don't think it really makes sense for them to like do like choice restriction. So my high likelihood that that might not change anything, because if let's say if you destroy the, I don't know, if you restrict some cards in Vilista, then Gandiva dominates. If you restrict some cards in Gandiva, Vilista dominates. So, and it's also like those kind of like I don't know, that dynamic like imbalance of the some of the decks in the D right now. So maybe they could do something like I don't know, probably like there's two ways to it. Either you restrict the cards, or like you make a new ban list around it, or you add more new cards with it, right? So, or maybe they could do something like lyrical related ban list. It's not too far-fetched because of the new lyrical card, the triple rare card, which allows you to draw if you attack a grade 3 or greater. So will that card be played in Vilista? I don't know, because like Vilista kind of eats a lot of counterblast, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, I might be wrong because I'm not a Vilista player per se. But there's like a lot of, it opens like a lot of like conversations to whether or not we should ban like or limit some cards in Gandiva, Vilista, or any other mainstream deck, mainstream meta decks. But in my own personal opinion, they wouldn't be. But I might be proven wrong. With the the one at the very corner at the fifth row very column, there might be a ban list indeed. So I might be proven wrong if they do that. If there is no ban list for D, if there is, then yes. So I'm just hoping, crossing my fingers and hoping that they might not. I'm judging that might not be, so that's about it. DPT 15 sneak peek, I think this is also like self-explanatory, because usually in Bushiroad presentation stream, they will announce like 2 booster packs, and they will like at least like announce 2 booster sets beforehand to like say that what to expect. So if we speculate that DBT 14 is going to be a glitter encounter set, then BT 15 will be a continuation with like wheel dress anime season related cards. Because particularly it's kind of like relates back to my what Seraph, the new Seraph is, because we haven't gotten a new Seraph for a very long time, and almost like Nirvana got a new form, Bruce got a new form, Magnolia got a new form, Bastion got a new form, so it has to make sense that Seraph gets a new form. But because the anime season 3 is about to end, and if there's like no resolution out between like say like Zakuza's like getting out of uniformers, that is also like potentially a thing. Maybe like for redemption arc. Maybe Zakuza, maybe like Tomari has to fight Zakuza, and then they have to like introduce a new Seraph for it. So that could be a thing, but we have to see. So yes, DBT 15 is going to be something that we should be sneak peek, or something like say we will introduce a new unit in DBT 15, so or new right lines. In DBT 15, so look forward to it. So they might say, right? After that, new encounter. Now, like I said before, since DBT 14 is like an encounter set ish. They might introduce some new encounters. A lot of people have been speculating that it's going to be like Dayusha from Dimension Police, and like something along the lines of like Kiriel from Angel Feather, I don't know, like Ashura Kaiser from Nova Grappler, or like Beast TTs. Beast TTs is also like kind of popular as well. So if they come back in D, I don't think everybody's gonna get mad. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what it does. What else? Like, I don't know, Great Nature, but I don't think that Great Nature is that popular. Maybe they can bring back Leopold, maybe they can bring back Shatnor. There's like a lot of like a variety of things that people can predict, but the most common one I see that what people are, what players are predicting is that we are getting Dayusha or Daikaiser, Dimension Police in the new DBT 14, which I would say highly possibly, but I'm saying that new encounter is a thing because judging by DBT 14, it's going to be like, the previous set is going to be, they will have the encounter set for this one, encounter cards for this one. Okay, now anime news, will they have anime season 4? I hope yes, because like I feel like this anime really needs to continue. Not only because it's for product selling purposes, which is kind of obvious, but I feel like there's like a lot of story that maybe you can explore for a bit. I feel like in the sense that I felt like the pacing for Real Dress season 3 is a little bit too fast. Pacing issues. All of the characters in Real Dress is like pretty nice. All of them have been going through a very nice development arc in terms of like Urara's development arc, Raika's development arc. Yu is like is growing up from him. For him, and then you have like, I don't know, maybe you could do something like conclusion to Masanori, what happened to him, will he get redeemed or something like that. And these are very interesting characters, and I feel like their stories should be really explored further. So the only way to do that is by the anime news, and I hope that they might be announcing like Real Dress season 4, which is not out of the realms of possibility, but I'm willing to bet that's gonna happen. So that's about it. And then after that, the 5th row. Now this is very important because I think this will happen. The fact that Captor Sanctuary and Dragon Empire does not have a mask unit shows us that how much they really needed to come out at this point of time. A new mask for like Captor and DE. Now Dragon Empire, a lot of people have been like joking around. Maybe Eugene is gonna get the mask. Alden could also possibly getting a mask because Alden is a new Vanguard in DT13. So whether or not he's gonna get a mask, that is yet to be seen. And I felt like they said that some people also like speculated that for the new Triple Drive booster, they will be coming out a new mask for both Captor and DE. So Dragon Empire. So I think that's also could be a high chance of probability that would happen as well, because we have not gotten the maskers for both of these nations, and the Dragon Empire Grade 2 Dragon Tree Searcher has not been announced yet. Captor, yes. In DT13 in this set we have like a Gala Desage, so Gila Desage, right? So it's also it has to follow a trend that almost all nations should get at least one Grade 1 and Grade 2 Hydroviums Dragon Tree generators, right? So I think it will happen, but the DE one is very hard to predict. Captor, we already predict it might be Alden Mask, so we have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case, but I'm highly leaning towards that we are getting an Alden Mask. Who knows? Despite it's very weird because like in spoiler alert, because like Jinky is kind of like have a redemption arc fighting the AI, fighting Gui. So maybe he could just use the power of evil to defeat evil. I don't know, something along those lines. It's very cliche, but you get what I mean. So that's it. Alright, now new MOBA game. Now this is just basically me coping because Vanguard Zero is no more. And one thing that I feel like what Bushiroad should start investing in is like doing like a very actual proper mobile game. that is not like Vanguard Zero, because my problem with Vanguard Zero is that it's something akin to like pay to win in like some cases. And if it's like a meta deck, it's going to be meta deck. You cannot do anything much about it, right? So, but that is Vanguard in general. There is no guarding mechanics in Zero, which annoys a lot of people, which kind of like put off people saying that, oh, if it doesn't have a guarding mechanic, I'm not gonna play this game, right? So I can, in one sense, I can understand them as to see their justifications and their arguments why they don't want to play Vanguard Zero, and not to mention that Vanguard Zero has like they kind of like, I don't know, it kind of how you say it? What's the word for it? It kind of like disappointed a lot of players because it's something like you know, grab like something to just like grab the money and just like, you know, shut down the servers, which I feel like, you know, kind of that argument is justified. We also kind of like robbed away of like having a Gaia slash Tachikaze, because Gaia is not in Zero, so that is also a very huge disappointment for a lot of players, and no alternate art for it, no rank reward for like a Gaia. And I feel like it's severely underrated, not underrated, it's severely underdeveloped for like, in the case for like Murakumo, Tachikaze, Nubatama, etc. So these are really like important clans as well. Not to say that they are shit decks, okay, but they are also like part of the Vanguard, you know, Vanguard clan in itself. So why not just give them, you know, what they want, right? You know, why not develop the entire thing, right? But I have a feeling that if for the mobile game, this should be a new. There should be a thing. If we can see this with like a Master Duel, you know, with Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, with like what else? One Piece also have their own apps already at this point. So One Piece TCG, Pokemon TCG is also like very important because they have their own you know, own platforms, like say for example Pokemon TCG Live or like PTCGO. Those are very important things that they are not mobile games. Or okay, I know that this is not technically like a good comparison, but we are in desperation of having like a very mobile Vanguard game that can have all the goodies. You know, if they want to do something like Gear Days, I don't mind. Or maybe they can just like do Gear Days in the phone. But again, this is going to require a lot of money. If they really want to do that, because you know, the developers could think of something else. To, you know, bring standard to mobile. You need to have like a lot of guarding mechanics, and there goes my bingo card again. So what we are seriously hoping that, you know, for the Vanguard community players, is that we get a very good mobile game that is faithful to the actual game mechanics itself, and not something like Vanguard Zero. Because honestly speaking, I feel like Vanguard Zero is, personally speaking, is very tiring to grind. So I hope that if they have a new game, they could do something to just like, you know, less grindy-ish, and probably do it and it's fun. Of course, not to say that it's bad, but I hope there's like a competitive value into, and there's like, you know, you reward the players by, you know, playing the game, especially if like say if it's a mobile game. Not to mention, you can try to like attract a lot of like new players into playing this game, even if they don't touch the TCG in general, right? I think Vanguard Zero does what the good thing that Vanguard Zero did last time was that because Vanguard Zero is able to pull in some players to play Vanguard Zero and directly to the premium format. I don't know for why particular reason, that they can start with the D format. You know, they can start with the D format, yada, right? And so if you don't, please, oh my god, okay. Anyways, that's just for my new mobile game for now. For the next one, it's going to be like new merch, new merchandises. I think this is kind of like self-explanatory, because with every new products is going to, with every new sets, they're going to like have like new products. So it's not impossible for them to like say that we might not, we will get like a new product. So it could look like we are going to have like new playmats, new sleeves, new deck boxes, something along those lines, right? So I think it's definitely welcome in like for all of these things to be, you know, to be there. So for like new merch, so why not, right? So that's how it's supposed to be. After that, we have what else can we talk about, right? the next on my bingo list, please don't mind for now, is the no ban list for premium. Now, if premium is okay, now it's back. Okay, now if premium is okay as many people might say, um, then if there's like no changes to premium, then I say like premium could be very healthy and there's like no big issues for now. I would foresee that there is like no change to the ban list. So because we already have like the recent ban list was in June. They already banned full Bronto, they already restricted Enterana into one, and if I'm not mistaken, it could be Japanese or English in Premium. Although, yeah, I think in Japanese Premium, they already restricted Enterana into one. So maybe for now, they will say like no ban list for the time being, so nothing changed. And last but not least is the ban list for D. They might do it, they might not do it because of like Andiva, because of really stuff, but I highly likely would say that they wouldn't be. So yes, that's what I could predict lah. Okay, now yeah, I think that's all for my bingo card. So yeah, tell me what are your thoughts down in the comment section below. Is there something I felt like I might get things wrong, I need to rearrange some things, because this is my own personal bingo list. It could happen, it could not happen, but by the time when the Sunday presentation stream arrive, I hope that some things is gonna get tick off some boxes in order for that thing to happen. So like you really need a new mobile game for Vanguard. So I want it a lot, and something like something like Master Duels or Yu-Gi-Oh! It's gonna like attract a lot of players, right? So I hope this will do yeah, and bring Vanguard to much more greater new heights in a sense. So yeah, that's about it. After I think there's nothing much to say anymore rather than saying yeah, I think that's about it. That's all for my case, for my justification for my bingo cards. Yeah, stay tuned. You may want to screenshot this one last time. You may share it with your friends. This is just my personal list. Personal bingo card. You can just probably like see like, okay, maybe I want to change this and that. But that's all for my justifications, and I'll say I'm looking forward for like the Bushiroad presentation stream for tonight, as well as tonight's stream, which I'm gonna send the news like probably uploading by tomorrow morning. So yeah, that's about it. This has been Professor 095 signing out, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.